Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cash, and this is Weekly Recap. What is Weekly Recap? I'm a semi-truck driver, owner-operator. I'm going to go over my week of operating a semi-truck in the United States. I'm leased to an 80-20 split carrier. I don't talk about the carrier. You can do all that on your own time. I don't really go over the fixed cost of it because they're so different. You'll have to figure that out for yourself. Things you have to figure out are like, how much is my truck payment going to be? How much is my insurance going to be? Your taxes, other things you still have to pay for. At the end, you'll hear me say, this is the money left to do what I have to do with. That's where those fixed costs will come out. Other thing, heavy highway use tax, that's like $10 a week on average. My apportion plate is like $40 a week. So, there's additional cost to this. So when you hear me say this is the money left to do what I have to do with, that means run my business, run my household, do all that stuff. So it's not like strip club money. These numbers are not to hurt your feelings. They're not to brag. It's just numbers. This is what happened to me for this particular week. This week is Christmas week of 2024. I did stay out Christmas Day because I had a chance at a pretty profitable run. Got home the day after Christmas, so this week ends on the 26th. I got unloaded, went straight to the house. Boom, it's all over. So this week was my typical out and back, but instead of coming straight back on one run, I had to split it, and we'll get into all that. Let's talk about it. The loads I did this week, I went Minnesota to Virginia, and so I was at home leading into Christmas, and I wanted to do a quick turn. I thought about just going maybe like, I live in Minneapolis, so I thought about going like Minnesota down to like Chicago. I thought about running, Kansas City, like my one day runs, into Iowa, maybe to Fargo, Chicago, pretty much all of Wisconsin I can hit and, be back the next day. So I thought about doing that, but then I was like, well, I don't know if I want to go out because I thought about just staying home the whole week because, coming into a holiday, freight volumes are tricky because there'll be a bunch of freight and then it's like somebody flips a switch and it's just nothing, because all the loads get booked out and then all the brokers go home and all the factories close and all the warehouses close and you're just stuck. So I was like, well, if I take $1,000 load to Chicago and I can't get anything back, what's the point? At that point, I'm trucking somebody's stuff to Chicago for free if I got to come back empty. So I was kind of like a little, I don't know, a little on the fence, I guess you would say, about going out. But then they called me with a run I do quite a bit, Minnesota to Virginia, and that's a quick run. That's a 1,200-mile run, but it's a 2-day run. You pick it up one morning, and then, like say you pick it up on Monday morning, it's got to be in Virginia Wednesday morning. So like a 48-hour run. And then I said, well, if I do that, then, even if I have to, take just whatever coming back, I'll still make good money for the week, or not good money, but average money. If I can hit 5,000 a week gross, typically, I'm paying everything and making a little money. So kind of got talked into that. I said, okay, yeah, I think I can make that work. So that's what I did. Minnesota to Virginia, 56 empty miles, 1184 on the loaded, 1240 total miles, 34 degrees, 42,000 pounds, $4,300 on that one. So, like I said, it paid good enough to go out, and if I had to come back, on whatever I could. So, and it was a quick turn. So, this is a full 7-day week. So, I was out 7 days. I had to be home on Christmas Day. This was 7 days before Christmas. This week started exactly a week before Christmas. So, did that run. Pretty good run. It had a lot of tolls on it. That's the only thing of going out there with that high speed run is you kind of got to take the toll roads. not a lot of time to goof around and go around them and all this, and kind of got loaded a little late on that one as well. So definitely had to take toll roads on that one. And then I got a load that I used to do all the time, but I don't do it much anymore. It's Maryland to Illinois. Um, that was 46 empty miles, 890 loaded miles, 936 total miles, 28 degrees, 12,000 pounds, 1,500 bucks. And that's why I don't do it much anymore, because that load was paying like 2 grand, used to be 2 grand. Then it went to like, during COVID, it went up to like even better. It was like 22, 23. And then it came back down to 2, and then 18, and then 17, 16. Now they got her down to 1,500. I'm not crazy about doing it, but I said, hey, it's another quick run. It's another 2-day run. So I said, okay, that gets me back to Chicago. And if I have to, I'll just deadhead home from there, because it's like, that's 4,800 for the week. If I can get to Chicago and get another 1,000 back, that's 5,800 for the week. It's not great money, but it's okay money. It's kind of my minimum. I try to do 6 grand a week minimum, if I'm going to be out all week. So that would have got me home. That would have put me home basically on like Christmas Eve, or actually Christmas Eve, because those are quick runs. Just boom, boom, boom. Um, and that would have been if I would have just took a normal load from Chicago back to Minnesota. I was planning that, and then they called me and said, "Hey, would you be willing to do some babysitting over Christmas?" And I'd already told myself I'm not working Christmas, because the last couple years I've worked major holidays, it has not worked out for me. Used to, that was my bread and butter. I would work Thanksgiving, I would work Christmas, and then we would just celebrate Christmas like, a couple days after Christmas or a couple days before Christmas. This year, they called and said, "Hey, um, would you do a load from the Chicago area up into like rural Minnesota?" I said, "Okay, yeah, I can do that." So um, that was 127 empty miles, 700 loaded miles, 823 total miles, and that load paid 3,500 bucks. So that's why I done it. $5 a loaded mile, and 34,000 pounds, 34 degrees, 30,000 pounds. So that was a really good load. So that's why I stayed out. I got home literally the day after Christmas in the morning, like 10 o'clock in the morning, you know, to make, basically that load paid like 2 grand, a solid 2 grand to babysit over Christmas, because that's what it was. It delivered the day after Christmas. And the way it timed out, I really couldn't go home and then still make the appointment, just the way it lined up and laid out. So I kind of took it and thought, well, hey, if they load this on time and I can run and get the whole 700 miles done, basically, I can swing by the house and still make that day after delivery. But it didn't work financially. It just wasn't worth it for me to like go way out of route, add like another 150 miles to the load, and then be home literally like no time. I would have got home like late Christmas Day. Kids want to open presents in the morning on Christmas Day. They don't want to wait till the afternoon. So I was like, just go ahead and open the presents. I'll be home in the morning. That's what we did. So worked out well for me. Not everybody wants to do that. I'm okay with it when it wants to pay, because basically, um, that $2,000 paid basically for Christmas. You know what I mean? Like that pretty much bought everybody's presents just for sitting on a load for a day. 34-degree load. It's about that temperature outside. I put her on start and stop, and yeah. So basically, it was like a choice: have my entire Christmas paid for by sitting at a truck stop on by myself on Christmas Day, or just take a mediocre $1,000 run back to Minnesota. So I did that. They actually scheduled, it was a one pick, two drops. They actually scheduled one of the stops on Christmas Day. I knew the place wasn't going to be open, but I went over there on Christmas Day anyway. And sure enough, they're not open. I called a broker on Christmas Day and say, hey, I'm here with your load. They're not open. Immediately they're like, okay, new rate cons on the way with the layover pay. Just let us know in the morning. We'll try to get you a new appointment time. Really didn't hurt me none. I went and got it unloaded the next day, and then it cost me about 3 hours. But they gave me $250 layover for that BS. So technically, I didn't put that in there, but that load paid $37.50 total. But I'd already done these numbers by the time I'd wrote all that down by the time all that had happened. So it is what it is. The total week gross, $9,300 total gross for the week. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's a week right there. I love these weeks like this. Let's hope things can stay with some freight volume, because then the rates will come back with it. Now, don't get me wrong, the big carriers will beat it down as fast as they can, but I'll make a little money in the meantime. So 9,300 is gross revenue. That's what me and the carrier made together. My 80%, $7,440. Let's talk about the miles and the routes and everything. 2,999 all miles. I think that's the second week in a couple months that has ended in 2,999 miles. Kind of weird, but just a number. It's bound to happen, right? You do enough of these, you're gonna hit the same numbers time to time. That is 2,770 loaded miles, 229 empty miles, 7.6% deadhead. Not bad. The truck made $3.10 a mile, all miles. Every mile the truck turned paid $3.10. That is $2.48 my 80%, and that's $3.36 a loaded mile. So damn good mileage rates, damn good week. I mean, just revenue, everything. It's like I like when I don't have to stress a holiday paying for everything, when I can literally have it paid for in one day by somebody desperate looking for someone that'll stay out over Christmas. Because I know a lot of people that wouldn't even, $2,000, $10,000. It don't matter. They're going home for Christmas. I respect that. For me, I've kind of got my family used to that over the last few years, that I'm going to work some holidays, even some major holidays. Like for me, a big one is the 4th of July. I always love working the 4th of July. If I can make a good amount of money for working the 4th of July, because you make good money for working the 4th, then I take all that extra money and I buy discounted fireworks. And then the weekend after 4th of July, I blow up all kind of stuff. I mean, it's just, that's how I like to do it. But anyway, let's go over the variable cost. Here we go. $14.27 in diesel. So a big chunk of diesel. Now I will tell you that is what I bought, not what I used. So if you see these numbers, sometimes I go home on full, sometimes I go home on empty, and vice versa. So that's what I bought for the week, not necessarily what I used for the week. $154 in reefer fuel, $38 in DEF fluids, $327 in tolls at Pennsylvania Turnpike. Ate me up. I think I had to eat pretty much every toll road. Maybe I went around the Indiana, but I didn't get to dodge many of them with that. I mean, I had to go. I had to be there. $25 in parking. I don't remember where that was, but probably out east somewhere, probably Maryland or somewhere like that. $0 on scales. Didn't scale any. So variable costs are $19.71 for the week. Bring over that $7,440 and subtract out that $19.71, and that leaves me $5,469 left to do what I have to do with. So banger of a week there. I'm talking banger. A few of them a year, and yeah, I'd be sitting pretty, real pretty. So everybody pray for me to get more weeks like this. Just saying, never hurts. But that's the week, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, smash that like button for me. Think about becoming a subscriber. I much appreciate you watching. Take care of each other out there. And remember, people are more important than trucking. Quick, I just want to remind everybody about the Mudflap app. If you're not using Mudflap, check it out, download it. It should be part of your fueling program. It's a free app. Go download it from the Apple or Android store. You sign up using credit card or bank account. No credit checks, nothing like that. No fuel card needed. Get yourself huge discounts on fuel. I buy about half of my fuel through it right now. It's an amazing free app. It's 100% legit. Sign up using my promo code there, and I'll get $10 in free fuel. You'll get $10 in free fuel. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. How important is Wi-Fi? Very important. That's why I use Nomad Internet in my truck. Yes, sir. This is a Wi-Fi modem that you put in your truck. Check them out. Links below. This thing gets signal when my phone will not. So if you're ever stuck at that truck stop with no signal, you'll wish you had some Nomad in your truck.